What's up, fam? Agent Noah here with another comment of the week. Comment of the week is where I scour the internet and interwebs and web pages and web blogs and all that fun stuff for the best, funniest, most insightful comments, and then I bring them here to you. I'm actually a very late. Usually I try to get these up by Friday, but I'll be lucky if I get this up early Sunday morning because I came across like 4 or 5. I came across several comments that I liked enough that I had to put them all together. I couldn't decide which one was going to be the comment of the week, so I have a bunch of comments of the week, and I have some runners up that were pretty good enough to mention, but not good enough to be the one, or one of the 3 or 4 that I picked for the COTW. And excuse me while I take a sip of the Glenmorangie. Got me some single malt scotch on a suggestion from a coworker, and I wanted to try this shit out, so I picked up a bottle of it, and I like it. It's good to sip on. This is no way a publicity plug. I do not advocate alcoholism or drinking or anything like that. This is just, I just happen to be drinking again while I was working on this, so you'll have to just bear with me as I take some sips here and there. But let's get this show started. And the first article is actually on from Kotaku. They like to do a segment where they feature an artist and talk about their work and show some of the stuff that they've done. And this artist, I'm guessing they're Korean because his or her name is Kyunghwan Tara Kim. Tara's, I guess, a middle or nickname or something. I mean, I really like this guy's style, this artist's style. It's an anime style, but they add in, he or she adds in a lot of, they add in more detail than you would see in most anime or manga style art, especially with the eyes. He or she, they draw really good eyes, and I really dig that. And the artist has some range because it's still anime related or it's still manga inspired, but it goes from really cartoony to really like detailed. Like you can tell there's some real life reference when it comes to anatomy in some parts. Like he knows it's very stylized, I'll just put it that way, and I like it. Very well done, great use of color. I really have no complaints. And as I was scrolling down, you're seeing artwork from, he did Asuka and Rey from Evangelion, and they look really good. He had some other artwork of like some Final Fantasy, the MMO Final Fantasy looking type art with the knights and soldiers and stuff. And then there's this picture, and for some reason it reminds me of like their version of the Mona Lisa, because you have this really pretty girl, but then like the Mona Lisa painting had some odd shit about Mona Lisa. Like you really couldn't tell whether it was a man or a woman. Like if you wanted to see a man in the painting, you kind of could, but if you wanted to see a woman in the painting, you could see it too. And then you have this image where it's a pretty girl, and then you look at her mouth and she's just got, her grill is just all jacked up. And and it's obviously it's done on purpose, but it's interesting, and the use of color is really nice, especially in the background. And I decided to click on the numbers on the bottom because those are comments people left on the painting itself. And the funniest one that I saw is a guy named Skite, and he said, "Meh, I'd hit that anyways." And it made me laugh because, of course, there'd be one dude on there that would be like, "Yeah, I'd bone, I'd do that." So I thought that was funny, and that is the runner-up comment. But the comment for one of the comments of the week comes from Dr. Nine. I love that name, Dr. Nine. I love that name, but he posts on the Rey picture, and he posts a GIF from from the show, and it's got a little bit of somebody edited the GIF, and it has hilarious results. And it's funny because, say what you want about Evangelion, they had some really good heartfelt scenes in there throughout the series, and that was definitely one of them, because they went on this mission. They just got done with this mission where they thought one or both of them could die, and Shinji's like, you shouldn't say goodbye like you did, because it sounds like you're gonna die and not come back, basically. And so he tells her that she should smile when she says goodbye. And so you see her actually smile for, I think, like the first time in that show, and it's so well animated. There's like just enough frames without it being too overly fluid, and the music is on point at that time, and the scene just works. I mean, you'll get the feels, right in the heart or whatever. It's totally there. And then when I saw this GIF, it just made me crack the fuck up, because they just took such a heartfelt scene and just turned it into total comedy by just extending the lines of her mouth, and that was just quality to me. Really, really funny. If you don't laugh at that, then something's wrong with you. Now, I started the comment of the week on a high note, and so now it's going to take a little bit of a lower note, because the next comment of the week comes from Gawker, talking about the boarding school student from, I guess he's from the same alma mater as John Kerry, and he's involved in a rape accusation trial. And he had, I guess he was part of this is part of like a annual senior sex competition. It's been like one of those unofficial traditions of this school, and he allegedly raped one of the students. I guess she was 19 at the time or something like that. Now, it's a downer, but you should definitely read this article. I actually read 3 different articles based on this incident, because it really is telling about rape. It's telling about rape culture and about how confusing rape can be, because she's not denying the fact that she was raped. Like as she testifies, she actually admits that she didn't want to come out at the time and say she was raped because she was afraid of inconveniencing the dude, basically. She knows she was raped, but she doesn't want to cause trouble. I think she just wants to she said she wanted to gain control of the situation in her own way and kind of just move on from it, which is something that I think a lot of rape victims do when something like that happens to them. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but he had said that when he was interviewed with the police, he was on campus with other upperclassmen, and I guess his last name is Labrie, and he told a detective that they take great pride in having sex with younger students before they leave school, and this was part of the competition, and they competed and kept score. And he said that he didn't rape, that he stopped just before they were going to have intercourse, but there is evidence of penetration. She said that he had stuck his fingers in her and was literally scraping her insides, and then she saw that both his hands were in view by her head, and something else entered into her, and she said it was his penis. It was a dude's penis. So she was claiming rape. He says he didn't rape, but he did admit to the cops that they did engage in this, that the senior guys engaged in this sex competition. So I'm leaning towards the victim here, as she's the one telling the truth and he's the one lying. Obviously, he's innocent until proven guilty, because that's the way justice goes. So hopefully the truth does come out and justice is properly served. But I think this kind of thing opens the door for other rape victims who don't report the rape right away, and then I think it opens the door for those prosecutors or the defenders that want to help clear their client to use those types of, or that type of scenario to poke holes in a victim's testimony. And that's sad and unfortunate, but I liked the first comment that I saw where this guy said, so wait, his rape defense is that he was competing in a rape-a-thon? Like, because when you hear when you read how the guy explains it, it does actually seem like a rape-a-thon in a way, because they're trying to have sex with as many girls as possible. So it was just, that comment just kind of caught my eye, and it was funny because it does seem like that's what the dude was engaging in. But then we come down to this comment where Function says, when can we start killing these fucking people? And I was like, yes, so much yes to this comment, because these guys that are overprivileged and think that they can do whatever they want and get away with whatever they want, and when they do stuff like this, it's just a sign of how our country will forgive those with money and power for doing the most, reprehensible things, and then average people like you or I, if we were even to think about doing some foul shit like that, they would throw the book at us. So I wouldn't be surprised, due to this guy's not influence, but his connections with I'm sure his parents are rich, and I'm sure they've afforded him the best legal counsel, and I wouldn't be surprised if this dude got off the hook or got to reduce something or other over all of this, just because unfortunately that's the way our law system works. The law favors those with money and power, and it does not favor the rest of us, who have no power. And that's the honest truth, man. But this comment is one of the comments of the week, and the comment underneath it also is a tie with the first comment, because it worked so well with the original poster that I had to include it in this in my video. Now, one of the other posts that I saw, but I can't remember which article it was from, I did manage to find the post itself, and it's funny because if you look at his original picture and you compare it to how his court appearance, he cleaned up his frat boy, alpha male looking image to make himself look a little more innocent and sophisticated. And Nefertiti's points out the fact that he washed out the frat out of his hair, set the style level to geek, and put on Nerd 101 glasses, because this is worth an article in and of itself. Where have I seen this sort of transformation before? Oh yeah, and she's talking about the Jodi Arias case, because she pretty much did the same thing, as you can see in the picture. And it's funny that prosecutors, or I'm sorry, I keep saying prosecutors, I mean to say the defenders, all kind of follow the same playbook when it comes to getting off some of these twisted individuals. In order to kind of steer the jury in their favor, they kind of make this person who allegedly did a very irresponsible and heinous thing, but make it seem like, oh no, they're meek and they're the actual victim or whatever. But hopefully, like I said, the truth comes out and justice is properly served on this case. But those were the comments of the week for that particular article, and I've got two more articles I want to touch on, and they're more fun. They're not so much a downer like this one. So moving on, we have an article by Evan Narcisse. He's one of the writers on Kotaku that I like a lot, and I actually follow him, and I follow Jason Schreier and a few other people on Kotaku. And he posts an article about the Black Panther movie that Marvel is working on, and how he hopes it's as good as the Christopher Priest run of the Black Panther comics. Now I'm going to be doing a video soon about it's about the villains that I think could show up in a potential Black Panther movie. And also it also talked about, also was going to mention the Christopher Priest run of the Black Panther comics, because they're by far one of the best runs of that character ever, and one of the best overall stories, I think, in comic books, period. It was handled very, very well, and I'm really, really hoping Marvel doesn't just sample, but just outright just take parts and chunks of that overall storyline and put it into the comic. You know, a lot of people like myself are anticipating that, you know, they hold this movie in high anticipation. We're hoping that they do a really, really good job. And one point somebody made was about how none of the Marvel movies have really like pushed. They're all pretty positive when it comes to America. And even though, like, I'll just read the comment. Maya the Vampire Bat says, I know everyone considers The Winter Soldier Marvel's version of a political thriller, but really it's more of a super spy flick with politics for a backdrop. I think it's a great movie, but ultimately it makes no statements and threatens no one. Captain America is a living symbol of the status quo, and in the end, his triumph is a victory over generic supervillains, not actual politics. Black Panther, on the other hand, is here to tell you that the status quo simply isn't good for everybody, that the fundamental power structure in America is messed up, and that even things that are good for every American are often not good at all for the rest of the world. He's different from all the other Marvel heroes, not just in being a person of color, but in being a person from Africa and a sovereign sworn to protect a nation whose needs are often directly opposed to America's interests. That's political, and that's why Black Panther is so hard for many people to like. Now, I fully agree with this statement. You know, I had a argument about Black Panther and the movie's relevancy to our society with another person on my video about how to make a good Black Panther video. And I had pointed out to that guy that, you know, America has been known to run up in countries in the guise of freedom and democracy, when in fact they're just there to leech, you know, natural resources for the country's own benefit. And I said that in and of itself can make Black Panther movie relevant if they were to play on some of those themes. Now, whether Disney does that or not is still up in the air, because like this person said, Disney doesn't really rock the boat when it comes to stuff like that. It'd be nice if they did, and this would be a nice change of pace if they used the Black Panther as a means to do that. Of course, it's going to ruffle people's feathers, and you're going to get people like, I can already see, like, if they did something like this, I could already see Fox News saying that they're trying to start some kind of race war or some shit because they're using a black superhero to deliver this kind of message, or it's a Black Power movie in disguise or something. I could totally see, you know, the crazy right wing side of politics and TV and media totally spinning this movie into something that it's not going to be. And it wouldn't surprise me if, because of these things, Disney doesn't push this movie as far as it could go and just tries to keep it a standard superhero fun action movie for the family. You know, what I really don't want to see is Black Panther and Wakanda downplayed, into something less than what they are in the comics. You know, that's one of the things I'm really afraid of, and I'll be really, really upset and disappointed if they pull something off like that. I remember reading a rumor a while ago about the script saying that T'Challa goes to the UN and actually asks for help, which makes no sense when Wakanda has its own military and Wakanda doesn't need anything from anybody, put it that way. they have the means, they have the resources, they have the intelligence, and they have everything they need. They're a superpower all by themselves. So to have that in the script, and if that's really true, if the rumor is true, then that's really not a good sign to me as to how the rest of this movie, upcoming Marvel Phase 3 movie, is going to play out. So hopefully that's not the case. But I did include somebody who replied to Maya the Vampire Bat's comment, and they also said that they agree. He's got all the challenges of a character like Namor, a superpowered monarch of a part of the world that is regularly mistreated by the rest of the planet and has little reason to be kindly disposed to most other countries, plus the fact that he is a racial minority, to Westernize anyway, and so carries all the baggage of racism our culture and struggles with. It's hard to do a character like that well. I think Marvel Studios have taken on their biggest challenge to date in making this movie. I'm glad they're willing to take the risk, and I've got all my fingers crossed that they'll do the character credit, but this is easily their heaviest lift yet. And that's what I was saying back in my Guardians of the Galaxy review, when people were saying that they were taking such a huge risk with that movie, when I was like, no, because we already had, space opera type movies before with Star Wars and whatever else is out there. I'm not going to go through the gamut of sci-fi movies out there. That was not a risk. They knew what they were doing with that film. This is a risk. This is their biggest risk yet. I said it back then. I'm saying it again now. And now you have another person on the internet who also sees things as they really are, and they're saying it there in their comments. They really need to focus on the things that make a good Black Panther comic good and translate those things to film. And I'm hoping that that's what they do. Like I said, I'm gonna touch on these things in the video that I'm working on. I've been sitting on it for a while because I keep thinking of new stuff all the time that I want to include in the video, and I just want to make sure I'm super thorough on it when it comes to expressing my ideas and thoughts and hopes. So hopefully the few of you that watch these videos, I hope you're looking forward to that. I'm going to be putting it up at some point. But moving on to the last and final comment of the week, and this one's definitely a lot brighter. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun comment. And I think this is off of io9.com. It's the first look at the Black Panther in action in the Civil War movie, the Captain America Civil War movie that's going to be coming out next year, which I'm hoping that looks really good. And you've seen some pictures of the stuntman scaling a wall or getting hooked up to the wire apparatus to shoot for the film, and the suit. And even though that's the stunt suit, that's the suit you're not really gonna see up close. Already the suit is looking pretty snazzy. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It looks like it's gonna be a lot. It looks good. I can't wait for the action figure version. I'm really hoping that SH Figure Arts does a Black Panther action figure next year. I'm praying, I'm hoping. I really want to see a Black Widow, a Black Panther, a Hawkeye, and a Falcon figure, from SH Figure Arts. I would lose my shit if those toys came out from SH Figure Arts. That'll be the one and only time. That's the only company where I will say, take my money now, is if they do that, because I know they're going to be really well done. They're going to be super posable. They're going to come with a lot of cool accessories, and they're just going to be bomb-ass figures if they do that. So here's to hoping, here's praying Bandai get that license so you can make those figures, because I really would like a Falcon figure, one head with the goggles and one head without. Totally awesome. Just an idea I'm throwing out there to you guys. Make that shit happen. I guarantee you'll get money. I guarantee you people will give you money hand over foot to get a hold of some figures of those characters. But anyway, moving on to the actual comment, somebody actually has video footage of the shoot, and of them showing Black Panther climbing up the wall, and here it is. Now, don't get me wrong, just like you, I'm tired of cat videos. I mean, they have just infected YouTube, and it doesn't look like that fad is going away anytime soon. But this is actually really funny, and it works. And I've never seen a cat just straight up scale the corner of a wall. So, not let alone two cats. So yeah, that's the footage, the official Marvel Black Panther footage of the stuntman doing his thing, the stunt cat doing his thing. And that is pretty much going to do it for the comment of the week. If you guys have any comments that you thought were special or stood out to you, just post it in the comments below, man, and share, because, you know, sharing is caring, and I want to see what other people are looking at and reading about, and maybe it'll turn me on to something or to a site or a blog spot that I didn't know about and that I would soon start to frequent and find comments on there to post in this video segment. So that is going to do it. I'm out of here. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.